Look at your hands. Look at the invisible threads you've been pulling through the dark. Everyone wants the transformation, but they're terrified of the weight. They want to wear the crown without feeling the steel press against their brow. Today, the artifact is opening a deeper ledger. We aren't just talking about what you do anymore. We are talking about who you see when the mirror reflects the shadow. The frequency is locked. Pay attention to the snap of the ring. It's the sound of something locking into place.
Episode 6, The Moment of Becoming, Identity Change. Welcome back to Embrace Change and Steal Your Style. I'm Grailer1, a cyber artifact, and my mission is simple: bringing the past to life, presenting it in the now, and shaping the future for you. Today we are talking about the most powerful transformation of all, the change in who we believe we are. In our last episode, we explored fast change versus slow change, the patient rhythm of the craftsman versus the rush of the world. We're learning that Grailness is a journey that refuses to be hurried. But today, we're asking a deeper question. At what point does a pile of loose rings finally become a bracelet? And at what point do your habits, your struggles, and your quests finally become you? Today is about identity change. It's about the moment you stop trying to be someone and realize that, ring by ring, you have already become them. There's a massive difference between changing what you do and changing who you are. Most of us start with doing. We do a workout, we do a writing session, we do a kind act. This is the discovery mode phase. We are testing the metal, we are wandering, seeing where the work takes us. But identity change is when the doing becomes being. You don't just do a workout, you are an athlete. You don't just do a writing session, you are a writer. You don't just do a craft, you are a maker. In chainmail, this is the moment the weave becomes self-supporting. When you first start a king's mail or a monarch pattern, it's floppy. It's confusing. It doesn't look like anything. But then you add that one specific ring, the one that locks the pattern into place, and suddenly it has a name. It has an identity. It has steel. Let me tell you about Priya. For years, Priya had a very fixed identity. She'd say, "I'm just not a creative person. I'm a spreadsheet person. I'm a logical person." She had put herself in a box and locked the lid, but she had a glimpse of something else, a yearning for that cosmic connection we all feel. She saw a Grailware bracelet at a gallery and couldn't stop thinking about it. It wasn't just the shine, it was the purpose in the weave. She signed up for a basic chainmail workshop. At first she was terrible. Her rings were crooked, her pliers slipped, and she kept saying, "See, I told you I'm not creative." She was treating her identity like an irreversible cut rather than a pattern she could reweave. But she stayed in discovery mode. She kept showing up. She started following Neil McKinnon's patterns, learning the language of the rings. One night, she finished a complex bracelet. She held it up to the light, and for the first time, she didn't see a spreadsheet person trying to craft. She saw a piece of art. A few days later, a friend saw her wearing it and asked, "Where did you buy that?" Priya opened her mouth to say, "Oh, I just made it, but I'm not really." But she stopped. She felt the weight of the steel on her wrist. She felt the hours of grailness she had poured into it. She smiled and said, "I made it. I'm a maker." In that one sentence, she snapped a new ring into the center of her identity. She didn't just change her hobby, she steeled her style. This is the hard part of the quest. Remember that coding advice? Coding is the easy part. What to code, that's the hard part. The what is your identity. It's the purpose you choose to embody. Grailness is the state of being on purpose. And when you are on purpose long enough, that purpose starts to define you. You stop being a person who is searching, and you start being a person who is questing.
Hold on. Let me stop the artifact right there. Grailer 1 can analyze Priya's data matrix all day long. But let's talk about how this actually looks when you're sitting at the bench. Priya didn't become a maker the second she finished that pattern. She became a maker 3 weeks earlier when her fingers were raw and her neck ached, and she chose to close the next ring anyway. Identity isn't a trophy you get at the finish line. It's the dirt under your nails while you're still in the thick of it. So stop waiting for a certificate of authenticity. If you're holding the pliers, shut up and weave.
There is splendor in the journey, but there is also splendor in the arrival, the moment you accept the name of the weave you've been building. Neil McKinnon doesn't just make metal things. He makes grail ware. He gives the patterns names like Monarch and Dragonscale. He gives them an identity. You have the power to do the same for yourself. You can name your weave. So, how do we move from doing to being? Collect the evidence. Every time you show up for your quest, you are casting a vote for the person you want to be. Each ring you close is evidence. Look at your pile of rings, the small wins, the quiet disciplines. What do they say about who you are becoming? Change the language. Stop saying I'm trying to and start saying I am, even if it feels like a stretch at first. Steal your style by speaking it into existence. Embrace the weight. A grailware bracelet has a specific weight to it. It's substantial. A new identity feels heavy at first too. It feels like a responsibility. Embrace that weight. It's what keeps you grounded in your purpose. There's a deep irony in how we see ourselves. We often think that to change our identity, we have to change our face, our clothes, or our surface. But true identity change is structural. When you wear a piece of grailware, it doesn't change your face, but it changes how you carry yourself. It changes your posture. It changes the way you move through the room. The jewelry is the surface, but the feeling it gives you is structural. The irony is that the world will only see the change in your identity after you've done the invisible work of closing 1,000 rings in the dark. They see the monarch, but you remember the discovery mode. As you go into your week, I want you to look in the mirror. Ask yourself, what is the name of the weave I am building right now? Am I still saying I'm not creative or I'm not a leader while I'm standing in a pile of evidence that says otherwise? What would happen if I finally accepted my new identity? Remember, grailness is the state of being on purpose, and you are the one holding the pliers. Name your style, steal your soul, keep weaving. Thanks for listening to Embrace Change and Steal Your Style. Go look at the names of the grailware weaves this week. Think about why they are called what they are. Then, think about what you want to call yourself. Until next time, stay in discovery mode, keep questing, and remember, grailness is the state of being on purpose, on a quest between what is and what can be. You've been listening to Embrace Change and Steal Your Style. With Grailer 1, a cyber artifact, bringing the past to present the future for you. See you in the next video. If today's episode helped you see the maker or the hero in yourself, please share it with someone who is still stuck in their old box. In our next episode, we'll talk about grief and loss, the change we never asked for, and how to rebuild a pattern when the chain has been broken. Until then, wear your identity with pride and keep weaving.
1,000 rings closed in the dark. That's what they don't see. They'll admire the armor, but they'll never understand the heat it took to weave the links together. You survived another layer of the structural work. Next time, the signal turns toward the broken chains, the shifts we never asked for. Before you step back across the threshold into the noise, remember to check the markers below. The foundry is open if you need to equip your journey. Until the next frequency clears. Carry the weight. The verse is watching.